I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sweep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own.
Greetings, my name is Ryan Mack. I'm the president of the Optimum Institute of Economic Empowerment, the not-for-profit organization that likes to provide tangible programs for the community. We have a special guest with us here today, someone who's my congressman of my district, the 10th district of within here in Brooklyn, New York. And we just wanted to sit down with the congressman today. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you so much for providing this opportunity.
This is a perfect. I want to commend you on the work that you're doing for the district. And just wanted to ask some basic questions today, so you can have the opportunity to tell your constituents and the people that listen to us across the world about what you're doing, because I know that people have a lot of questions, and if anybody has the answers, you have the answers.
Thank you, thank you.
So we appreciate that. So I guess the first segment that we're going to touch upon today is, what have you done for me lately? You know, this is essentially, we just want to know in terms of the activity level, you know, what sort of things are going on within the district that you're working on currently that the people have benefited from. And, you know, and for instance, one thing that I know you've been working on is, I was on the phone the other day with an airline, and this airline's company, we talked back and forth, and next thing you know, they ended up fining me, all these additional fines and penalties that I didn't necessarily know, and they wouldn't refund my ticket. You know, we didn't take the trip, they had double booked me, and all these certain things that's going on. And I know that you've been working on the Consumer Protection and Airline Ticket Validity Act of 2010. It's H.R. 5930.
That's correct.
What is this legislation all about? And for people that, like myself, who have these problems with these excessive fees and fines, and how is this going to impact the people?
Well, first we're talking about fairness. You know, sometimes people purchase a ticket, they have all the intentions to go, and then things will come up that will make it impossible for them to be able to continue with the trip. There's no question in my mind that when this occurs, that they should be refunded, their money should be refunded. And that should be no questions asked, no more than the fact that you indicate, you know, what the problems were that precipitated your not going. And of course, now today, you're fined. And in some instances, if you don't go, you lose all of your money. And of course, people can't afford that. And we're saying to the airlines, let's get real. Let's make certain that if a person has a legitimate reason, you know, there's one situation where a young lady had planned to take a trip, and of course she had death in the family. So when she indicated that she had death in the family, the airline basically said to her, that's your problem, not ours. So therefore, it has nothing to do with us. Yes, you were supposed to take a trip, you paid for the ticket, you didn't go, that's the end of it.
Wow.
So we're saying this is something that is unacceptable. You know, there's reasons as to why people, you know, might not be able to take the trip, and therefore the airline should respect that and refund the money to people. This bill will address some of these issues. It doesn't solve all the problems, but it really helps to highlight the fact that something needs to be done, and this legislation is a step in the right direction.
Well, that sounds like a good piece of legislation to me. And again, it's for someone who's been, you get on there and you got to pay $25 for an additional bag, and next thing you know, they think the ticket's going to cost $100. Next thing you know, it costs $150 or $200 just to get on the plane. You have to check in bag and whatnot. I definitely feel that this could be a good asset to the community, to the people.
And plus the fact that the second bag costs more than the first bag. I mean, which really further complicates the issue.
Right. And another thing that's been an issue lately, back in July, they finally got the hole plugged up, the BP oil spill. It was finally plugged. A lot of folks are now concerned about what's next and what's going to happen after this, in terms of a lot of people are having issues with how BP handled the situation. You know, and there's a lot of frustration. You know, a lot of folks down there are jobless in the Gulf area. You know, what sort of things are being done in order to make sure that companies like BP are not able to just abuse a system like this and have these sort of things happen again? So here in America, we can make sure it just doesn't happen again.
Well, actually, first of all, that, you know, we're saying that the Department of Interior, you know, the MMS, must be revamped. You know, the way it's structured, it sort of lends itself to people being able to do these kind of things and sort of getting away with them. If you restructure it, I really feel that the monitoring is key. You have a sort of cozy relationship with the agency and with the industry. You have people that work for the agency and then all of a sudden they leave and next day they're working for the industry. And of course you have some situations where people will leave the industry and come into the agency. It's just too much back and forth, and in order to make certain that we are able to avoid situations like what happened in the Gulf, I really feel that there have to be arm lengths between the agency that has the overall responsibility for supervision and the industry. So we're looking now at restructuring. And what we have done, my committee, is that we have looked at the oversight to see what went wrong, where did it go wrong, and what needs to be done now to make certain that this does not happen again. But the coziness and those relationships that we were able to sort of discover during our hearings, to me, is something that the Department of Interior must deal with.
What's your position about offshore drilling, and has it changed since this incident has taken place?
No, I think that the key here is supervision. And if you have agencies doing what they're supposed to do, then I really feel that offshore drilling can be done and can be done safely. But the point is that if somebody goes to sleep at the switch, that's when these problems occur. So I'm saying that, you know, once they divide up, the people that are responsible for the fees, that should be a separate department, you know, where then they do not have the oversight responsibility because they're responsible for the fees. And then another group that has the oversight responsibility. It had to be divided up so people will not get confused about their role.
Right.
And that to me is very important. And if you have that kind of supervision, and of course the transparency, then I really feel that we can do it, and it can be done safely, but it must be supervised.
Okay.